Hello and welcome to Let the Bird Fly, a podcast about living freely in a world given back to us. This is Wade here in the podcast studio, joined by none of my dear friends and colleagues because I am finally getting back to a series that I have been working on in the spring, Faith, Fitness, Fellowship, Formation, talking about health and formation that goes along with it. This is the fifth in the series so far, and I'm attempting something new today. I am attempting to do some video as I do the audio. Michael and I have been working on putting forward some proposals to hopefully get video for the podcast, and this is me just getting a sense for what I can do possibly in that regard. And so we'll see how that works. If it doesn't work, then you won't see any video of this posted. In this Faith, Fitness, Fellowship, Formation series, we've talked so far about wake-up calls, and I talked about what kind of started me on a fitness journey, going to the doctor for a physical the first time since before I was married, so in a couple decades. And finding out I had some health stuff that I really needed to take care of, diabetes, high blood pressure, stuff like that. That was, it's actually coming up on about 1 year. That was July 30th. I went to the doctor for asthma, who referred me to her husband, who became my general practitioner. And it was early August when I went to him. And so that's kind of what started me having to really think about what I'm eating, making sure to get exercise, thinking about what sort of exercise to do, and also thinking about other aspects of life, how I should be balancing things. Throughout that process, I've lost a significant amount of weight. I'm down 115 pounds or so from my high point, which was during COVID, but down about 80 pounds from where I was when this all started. More importantly though, my diabetes is now in remission. I'm off meds for that. I still have one high blood pressure med, but he just said it's better just to stay on that just in case than to go off of it. But I've come off other meds for allergy and asthma in the meanwhile too, one of them that I've been on for quite some time. So I've been very blessed. The Lord gave me a wake-up call, and I've been able to make the most of the opportunity. I was teaching while doing all this, but I did have sabbatical in the spring, so that also helped me kind of double down and refocus on things. But it's not just been going to the gym and watching diet, but faith practices, trying to be more regular with devotions, the daily offices, stuff like that. And another thing that it's involved, it involves not doing things, which might seem counterintuitive. So the first session was on wake-up calls. The second was on numbers, and I talked about what numbers I've found it important to track in order to help keep myself accountable, but also be able to enjoy things within measure. I talked then the session after that about the benefits of strength training versus cardio. I'm not against cardio by any means, but I tried to hit on that if you can only pick one, in my view, for a number of reasons, strength training is a longer term benefit and better if you're dealing with something like diabetes, but also if you're trying for weight loss because of its benefits for metabolism. And then the last session, which was too long ago, was on walking, water, and the sun, staying hydrated, getting your steps in, and if possible, getting your steps in outside. Today I want to talk about the importance of not doing stuff sometimes, the importance of rest. And this is a big one because this is not just a physical principle, this is a spiritual principle as well. God built rest into his view of the human race and what is best for us. He himself rested on the seventh day of creation. The word seven is related to the word Saturday in Hebrew, which is also related to the word rest. And so I was on sabbatical, which comes from Sabbath, and I wasn't just supposed to rest on that. I was doing research and writing and rebuilding courses. But God wants us to rest. He wants us to rest spiritually. He wants us to hear the word. This coming Sunday is the sixth Sunday after Pentecost. We hear about the one thing needful. We sing about the one thing needful, that Mary sat at Jesus' feet, that Abraham was reassured of the promise by his three visitors. But we need physical rest too. And sometimes the temptation when people are trying to restore their health or lose weight is to just go hard. And if they get done in the gym and they feel like they've beat themselves up, or they've run so hard, or they've done whatever so hard, and they feel sore and they think, see success, this is going to pay off. The problem is you can sometimes do much more damage by overdoing it. In fact, if you're overdoing cardio, you're probably hurting your metabolism more than helping it. It's not going to help you if you're trying to watch your glucose. It's not going to help you if you're trying to improve your metabolism. It's going to wear you down. Your body's going to go into survival mood. It says, I have to somehow be able to keep up this crazy activity. I have to conserve. And that's not going to put you in a state to really flourish. We know that's true spiritually too. If you're running yourself ragged, if you're burning yourself out, you're not going to be much good to anyone else, but you're also not going to be refreshed and filled by the Lord. We need to listen first, act second. We are primarily hearers. Faith comes through hearing. God speaks creation into being. We are hearers. Hearers listen. They are passive. And it's important, while we want to actively listen, we want to be passive in the sense of we also need to receive. And rest is something that we receive. Rest means sleep. And most of us are not sleeping enough. We might think we're sleeping 8 hours or so based on when you put your head to the pillow or when you get up. But you have your phone in bed. How long are you on your phone in bed? Are you waking up through the night? What kind of sleep are you getting? Are you getting deep sleep? You're not sleeping as much probably as you think you are. I know once I started tracking that, I was shocked at how poor the quality of my sleep was. And so I'm waking up the next day already behind the 8 ball, already with an uphill battle because I'm not rested and I'm not recharged. Sleep is probably the number one or number two thing that's going to be important if you're really hoping to take care of yourself in every aspect of life. Not sleeping just impacts every aspect of life. And so I'd encourage you to kind of track that and be cognizant of it. I'm not going to say you can't have your phone in bed because I take my phone to bed. My thing every night is I read some Wikipedia articles. I know it's nerdy, it's just what I like to do. And then I fall asleep. I would love to break that habit, but that's just what I do, and I find it's been working. But I do track how much am I actually sleeping. So sleep is important, but also just rest. Are there times in your day and in your week when you're intentionally resting? Are you taking time to do something like reading, to do something that can be stimulating and yet not overexerting? Are you taking time just to think? Are you getting any silence? Are you taking time to spend a little bit of time in the Word? And that will be its own thing, its own session that we'll talk about at some point too. But we're built to rest, and rest is a good thing, and rest is a productive thing. And I found that throughout this journey, that's a balance I've really had to learn. When I don't rest, I don't accomplish as much in the gym as I would like, and I don't accomplish as much as I'd like in a day. Luther, supposedly there's the apocryphal Luther quote where he says something like, I've got so much to do today, I'm going to need to spend at least 3 hours in prayer. But are we being mindful? Are we being attentive? Are we taking time to receive so that we'll be able to give? Are we taking time to reflect so that we then will have the ability to intentionally do? And so I think rest is important. Rest between sets at the gym. I like to give my son a hard time. He insists on resting 3 minutes between each set. I can't do that. I think my ADHD or whatever is too strong. But I have increased rest time, and my reps have gotten better. And it must be working for him because he recently passed me on bench press, which was both a proud and shameful moment for me. But even when you're doing things, resting in the midst of that is important. One of the criticisms of the New York Knicks in this last NBA playoff run was that the head coach played his starters too many minutes. In other words, he didn't rest them, and so some thought they weren't getting as many quality minutes when that player was in the game. And so I just encourage you, when you're thinking about getting back in shape, when you're thinking about trying to lose weight, when you're thinking about trying to improve your health, to work against some sort of medical challenge that you're facing, we want to do. And we have to do. We're accountable. There's certain things only we can really work to fix. But one of the things we have to do is rest, is not do in the same way that we otherwise would be doing things. And again, that doesn't only mean sleep. It doesn't mean just sitting still and not doing anything. It can be taking time for thought and reflection. But I would say the importance of rest. Rest in the gym between reps, rest between workouts, whatever you might be doing. Rest in thought in the midst of a busy day, rest for prayer, rest for the word, and sleep to make sure you are getting your sleep. If anyone is interested, I do have a couple pages that I've put together that kind of summarizes all this. I've had a number of people reach out to me and ask what I did, and I think sometimes the hope is that I have like a magic pill. I did not take any magic pills. I wanted to try to do this without that. But I did put together kind of what I have done, and I'm happy to share that. This is kind of just going through that. But I hope you find it helpful, and I hope you find time to let the bird fly, so to speak, by saying, life will go on, God will take care of me, what is to be done will be done, I need rest, and just sometimes unplugging and allowing yourself to get that, and you will find that you will be more productive, not less, and all the rest that comes with that. I hope you find that helpful, and I want to keep these short, but I'm happy if anybody's ever interested in corresponding more to let you know what I've tried to do in these regards. But I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best as you try to take care of yourself, the whole person, mentally, physically, spiritually. I pray God blesses all you're doing, but I pray you also find time to once in a while not do. And with that being said, let the bird fly.